All right, Alexander, let's talk a little bit about the Durham investigation, the AG Barr-Durham investigation, which I think we now, which we now definitely know will not wrap up before the election. And I guess the main question is, will it ever wrap up? Okay, if Biden wins, we know they're going to scrap it. But even if Trump wins, which he will win, even when he does go on his second term, will this investigation wrap up?
Well, that's a very good question. I have to say this has been a huge disappointment for me. I mean, I have never been naive about these investigations. I've always felt that Barr was perhaps quite serious about them and made comments about them that suggested that he was serious. I've never known anything about Durham. One had heard good things about Durham, but then one had heard lots of good things about Robert Mueller also, and Robert Mueller turned out into, as we know, a Frankenstein. And it seems that Durham is not so much a Frankenstein as a broken reed. I mean, he's not come up with anything. He came up with one very, very pallid conviction of Kleinsmith, which was negotiated to the sort of nth level so that it pulled its punches. But there's been, as far as I can see, very little progress indeed. And it's been ongoing now for a year and a half. Again, one would have expected some degree of, interim reports, something to work with for the American people to work with and to get some idea of what was going on. I mean, I understand, and I've said this many times, that there is a difference between legal time and political time, and legal time is very slow. So these investigations can take a very long time. But within a year and a half, that there should be so little, I do frankly wonder whether Durham really is committed to seeing this. And quite possibly, like lots of other people in Washington, he's looking at the election at the moment, looking at the polling figures, and is prevaricating and sitting on the fence and waiting to see what happens in November. I will say this: if Donald Trump wins, I think you will see this thing perhaps given more life. But I think at that point, Donald Trump may talk to Barr and suggest to Barr that perhaps a rather more dynamic person to be put in charge might be needed. And I'm going to make another observation too. And I said this, long ago, at the time before Barr was appointed, that I thought this definitely called for special counsel. And I think, I put that to one side when Durham appeared, but I think this definitely calls for special counsel. And, I would say, well, maybe Rudy Giuliani is too conflicted, but someone like him, and, a really aggressive investigator, somebody who holds no punches, who's prepared to go and speak to the media. No reason why they can't speak to the media, by the way, and makes regular reports to Congress. No reason why special counsel couldn't report to Congress, and keeps this show moving, because at the moment it seems to be dead in the water.
Yeah, no, we need someone to speak to the media because the media doesn't cover any of this
Exactly.
at all. I mean, they've completely suppressed this entire story with Russiagate, even though we've got all the documentation that shows this thing was a complete hoax. And I think there's plenty of documentation to start some indictments. John Solomon, in an article from Just the News, says that there's 40 key Russian documents President Trump must still declassify. Many unreleased pieces of evidence have been sought by Congress dating back to 2017. So we have still tons and tons of documentation that Trump can declassify, or documentation that Congress can get and hand over to the public so that we could take a look at it. Yeah. And just finally, to wrap things up, Alexander, the PR campaign for this news topic has just been run so poorly.
Yes.
And the media is winning out on this by suppressing this, because on another John Solomon article, let me find the title, it says, by 2-1, voters believe the FBI should be prosecuted for its role in the Russia probe. Related poll shows just 1/3 of voters are aware FBI lied to a judge to obtain wiretaps against 2016 Trump campaign associates. In other words, this poll is showing, while there's a 2-to-1 range where people are saying the FBI should be prosecuted, when asked about the wiretaps that FBI agents lied to a judge to obtain warrants against the Trump campaign affiliates, a fifth of all voters found the allegation to be false, while 46% were unsure. 33% say that it's true. No one even believes what's going on.
It's all over.
They don't understand the story.
No, they don't understand the story. I mean, I have to say, I find it remarkable that even a third of Americans have any awareness of this at all, because frankly, there's been a complete media blackout. And by the way, equally ferocious media blackout here in Britain. I was reading today the Financial Times with a long interview with Andrew Weissman of the Mueller investigation, in which Weissman quite openly says, that he thinks that there was something in Russiagate after all, and he blames Mueller, of all people, for not pursuing it aggressively enough. And that is the impression that most people in Britain have been given, that, they're not aware of all of these other things that were happening, or the malpractice in the FBI, or the malpractice in the Justice Department, or the things that were going on with the Democrats, the fact that the Steele dossier has been discredited, the illegal Pfizer warrants. None of this has really been percolated through. It's not percolated through in the United States. It's not percolated through in Britain. And you're absolutely right. It won't happen because the media is suppressing this story. And at the same time, the PR handling of it has been terrible. It's been terrible by the Trump people, and it won't really break through until the moment comes when proper indictments take place and the person who is investigating it comes before Congress and provides regular reports and starts handing out indictments. I mean, that's what this thing needs. Now, I hope that when Trump is re-elected, I'm going to put it in that way, he understands that and he follows this through. And I think it's absolutely right. Solomon is absolutely right. Now, it's not 40 documents that Solomon has identified. He's actually downplayed the number in the headline. If you actually read the article, it's 40 caches of documents. I mean, there's vast amounts of email trails, for example. We're talking about thousands of documents that one could produce, which could expose the sort of things that have been going on. And he identifies, by the way, some of the people who've been involved in trying to keep these documents under out of public view. And one of them is Chris Wray of the FBI. Well, no surprise there. But another one is none other than Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State. So it tells you that even Mike Pompeo, who is supposedly close to Trump, isn't really close to Trump, isn't really working for Trump. So we need a far more dynamic investigator. We need to upgrade that investigator's rank to that of special counsel. We need a far more aggressive team of people behind him. We need mass declassifications. We need all sorts of people to be put in charge of the FBI, the Justice Department, the CIA, and the rest. We need public warnings that destruction of documents will lead to obstruction of justice charges, and that they will be pursued vigorously and in the most relentless way. And unfortunately, what we also need is Donald Trump in the White House, because without Donald Trump in the White House, none of these things that I've talked about are going to happen. I say unfortunately. What I mean by that is that this is an overwhelmingly important reason why Americans need to vote for Donald Trump. That opinion poll that you mentioned does show how uneasy Americans are about this. They may not have been provided with much information. They may be very confused about the information that is out there because it's not extensive. But that so many of them are worried clearly shows that they sense that something is wrong. So they need to get behind the man who is the president and vote for him so that he can provide light on this affair and bring those people who have put the constitutional existence of the United States in jeopardy, because that is what they have done.
Yeah, I agree. They need to get some indictments in there of some big names. That's what's going to wake up the people that haven't yet realized the seriousness of what happened. Like, get Comey in a jumpsuit, or get Brennan in a jumpsuit, or get Obama to testify in front of Congress. And if it wasn't for alt media like us, if it wasn't for people like Tom Fenton at Judicial Watch, if it wasn't for people like Nunez and Jim Jordan, and if it wasn't for Trump's Twitter, then no one would know about this.
No one would know about it. Exactly. I would add that if you given the extent of the media suppression, the way to do it, you really want to start bringing this all up. The two people you should call to Congress, and the two people who need to be questioned, and this is where Barr, by the way, has been very weak also, are Clinton and Obama. Hillary Clinton and Obama. I mean, Hillary Clinton ought to be called before Congress and ought to be asked very clearly what happened on the 26th of July, 2016. Did she authorize this campaign? She will, of course, deny it, but she should, in that case, be reminded that she's giving her evidence on oath, and that it is a felony, a very serious felony, to lie to Congress in that way. And of course, there ought to be lots and lots of other follow-up questions. And the same applies to Obama as well. He ought to be asked about this briefing with Brennan. He ought to be asked about that extraordinary meeting he had on the 5th of July, 2017 with Sally Yates, Joe Biden, James Comey, Peter Strzok, who I'm now quite sure was at that meeting. Why was he at that meeting, by the way? All of those people in which they plotted the downfall of General Flynn. And he, bring them all to the Congress, ask them questions, put them through the third degree, well, not the third degree, but anyway, put them under the spotlight, ask them the questions properly, and then I can assure you the American people would notice.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Boy, would I love to see that. All right, Alexander Mercouris, thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on the subscribe button. Smash that like and share this video with everybody you know. Also, please donate to us on PayPal, Patreon, and Subscribestar, where you can donate to us and help out this small but growing channel. And please go to the Duran shop, pick up some merchandise. That also helps the channel. And also, please go to Patriotic Legacy as well and pick up a Patriot Beacon. They're running a contest for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where if you make a purchase at the Patriotic Legacy and use the discount code Duran20 at checkout, Duran20, you'll get 20% off, and you'll be automatically entered into the contest to win a pink Patriot Beacon 3, along with a Duran USA Magic Mug, Alexander.
And this is the Patriot Beacon 3. It is the world's best flashlight. It has this extraordinary, powerful beam of light which shines into the darkest places. That's what you need in order to investigate Russiagate properly. You need a powerful beam of light that searches out into all the nooks and crannies of the swamp and finds out exactly what is going on, what went on. And that is like the Patriot Beacon 3. The Patriot Beacon 3 has this tremendous, powerful beam. It illuminates the darkest places. I know, I walk with it regularly in the woods with my dogs, and I know exactly what a tremendous beam it is. It is the best flashlight in the world. By the way, it's a very powerful beam, as I said. If you've got lots of people around you and you don't want to sort of blind anybody with the beam, you can dim it. And if you're walking down a road and you want to alert people to the fact that you're there, you can have it flashing like that. It is the best flashlight in the world. It's not just a flashlight. It is, as Alex says, the Swiss Army knife of flashlights, because it does so many other things. Now, I said that I like to walk in the woods with my dogs. And in fact, when I do, I have always my Patriot beacon with me, even in daylight, because it's got a compass there, which I can use in case I lose my way and I'm out of, GPS contact, and I need to find my directions. It's got a compass, incredibly helpful thing. It's also a good way of calling my dogs to me, because it's got an alarm in the handle that I can press and the dogs come running. I'm not going to keep it on for very long, because if I do, they will come running to me now. It is also super reliable because it is solar powered. So you don't need to worry about putting in batteries and things of that kind, because you just need to leave it out in the light, and it is utterly reliable and ready for you at any place, anytime in the dark when you need it. You can also use it to recharge your other appliances. You can recharge your smartphone or your laptop or your tablet. You've got a port there to do it. And if you have it with you in your car, as I invariably do when I drive, it's also an incredibly helpful tool. And if you see somebody has had an accident and you have to get out and help them out of their car, well, you can use it to break the windscreen and cut them out of the seatbelt. You've got a seatbelt cutter there. And by the way, you can use this also as a hammer. Perhaps not, the ideal, the thing the designers had in mind, but it works. It's a pretty good hammer too. It is incredibly strong and incredibly rugged. It's one of those wonderful quality products that's made in the USA. The moment you handle it and hold it in your hand, it gives you that tremendous confidence that these incredible products the US makes give you, because you just feel instantly how strong and rugged it is. You know that you have in your hand the best flashlight in the world. It is the Patriot Beacon 3. It is made by the Patriotic Legacy in the USA. It ships all over the world. Wherever you are, you can get yourself one. All you need to do is join this competition. When you do, you will be supporting the breast cancer awareness. And this one is black, but the one that will come is pink. And it will come, as Alex rightly said, with a magic mug, with the flag of the USA, the great republic and nation in which it is made. So just to remind you, these are our magic mugs. Alex has the mug with the flag of the US also. We have flags also of many countries on our other mugs. This is the flag of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, the country where I live. And this is the flag of Greece, the country where I was born, and of which I'm also a part of. So we have our magic mugs, we have our amazing Duran shirts, the best cotton t-shirts you can get, 100% cotton. Many of them also now come with flags. Many of them are embroidered. We also have the best polo shirts in the world. We have amazing hoodies, and we've also got our hats. We've got hats. Also, this one has the flag of Great Britain there, which you can see. And I've got another one also like that, which has also got the flag of Great Britain. And we have truckers' hats, and we've got baseball hats, and we've got hoodies, and we've got ebooks. You can find them all in our shop. You can support the Duran by coming to our shop, and you must definitely get yourself a Patriot Beacon 3. Alex will remind you how to do all these things.
You'll find the link to the Patriotic Legacy to get the Patriot Beacon 3 underneath this video in the description box, and you'll find a link to the Duran shop as well underneath this video in the description box. Alexander Mercurius, thank you very much. Till next time, everybody, take care.